Welcome to Ossont Battery. I'm Aaron Ossont, and today, since it's the beginning of October, as of recording this, it's October 1st. I want to have on a great band that I really think fits the season for Halloween. So today I have on Lady Luna and the Devil. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
So why don't you introduce yourselves?
So I'm Brooke. I'm the singer for the band. I also do some other. Oh no.
Oh no.
I also do some other instrumentations, and I play keyboard and arrange a lot of things. So that's my role in the band.
Yup, and I'm Kevin. I play guitar and bass and I don't know.
Other things.
Yeah, do a lot of other things.
The mixing, the producing.
Oh
all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yep.
The
So
whole 9 yards, kind of, you know.
yeah. Whatever Brooke's not doing. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the first thing I wanted to get into is how did you guys start the band? How did the band come into coming, and also like what are some of your influences for the band?
Yeah. So
You can
I'm
start.
yeah. So I guess it's not the most exciting story, but it was during COVID, like we both work in IT and we got sent home. So we were working at home for like, 6 months or so, and it was the job I had at the time didn't really translate very well to work from home, just kind of the work I was doing. So I just had a lot of spare time, so I started playing guitar. Um and Brooke could always sing. So I was I don't know, just trying to, I don't know, get started on guitar and kind of if you're gonna learn something, you need to apply it right away or you kind of lose it, right? So our uh our first album kind of was like, pretty simple doom kind of. I don't know. I was listening to a lot of like Candlemass and Darkthrone at the time, and that was really like as fast as I could play at that time because that came out we put that out like the end of October in 2020, and I think I picked up the guitar in like August of that year. So, and we just
Yeah.
like threw that together on Bandcamp, and had like programmed drums and everything. So that was literally like,
The
it,
lowest level we could get.
yeah. I mean, you've been in like,
Jesus, it's pretty good.
yeah. I mean,
And
that was all thanks to her.
it's like setting the expectation low that like he's still learning. Like you said, I've always been in band and choir since like fourth grade. And I started playing piano when I was like 2. So it's like it's been in the family. I for as far as like influencers for me, I like a lot of classical music and 80s music and soundtracks, like techno stuff. Like I'm all over the board basically. But as far as like writing for our band, I think probably 80s takes the most
Yeah.
influence.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Now, actually, I was going to bring up your first album. Now that you
Yeah.
already brought it up, so one of the songs that I really like on that album is Black Coat Ballad. That is phenomenal song. It's just really catchy. Like I said, it's kind of simple, the riffs, but it's just really like hooks you in.
Yeah,
That was mostly my doing. I
yes.
mean,
Well, yeah.
so like he knew he wanted, like, I don't want to speak for you, but like you knew you wanted to do a ballad, and you're
Yeah.
like, how do we do this? And so I'm like, well, usually for ballads you just want to start with a simple progression and then like build off of that, and
Yep.
um then we write the melodies and stuff and go on from there. But he's just like, I have no idea where to start.
Yeah. So that was like oh, got to put some bells in the beginning to make it spooky and um that's
Lots of
like
layering of vocals.
yeah, and that was there's a movie called Black Coat's Daughter. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. It's the
Don't think I have. No.
there's a movie that just came out called Long Legs, and that's like the same writer director guy, but
Okay.
it's like an old, like, very indie movie, and we I mean that's what that thing was lyrically about. And then we had my friend Tony from Imminent Sonic Destruction do the solo on that. So that solo was definitely not me. And the solo added a lot to it. So I'm glad he was a part of that. And yeah, that was I think that's like on Spotify now. That's our top song. Like
Oh, nice.
somebody found it on the internet and really started listening to it. So that one's kind of a late bloomer, but I think that one holds up the best, I think, off that album. So I'm glad, you know.
Now, one thing I noticed is that it seems that each album has its own kind of theme.
Yeah.
And I really like that. That's one thing that kind of drew me in. Was that kind of intentional when you started the band, or did it just kind of happen?
Oh yeah, I like thematic music. I'm more of like a prog nerd, so I listen to a lot of like I don't know, Between the Buried and Me was like my favorite band for a while, and they have a lot of concept albums, and I love Coheed and like the Deer Hunter and stuff like that. So I don't know, that first one was just, oh,
That
we're gonna make a Halloween themed band, you know.
yeah,
It's like, what does Ghost and King Diamond do? You know, we're just gonna sing about horror movies that we were into at the time, and like specifically trying to keep it more about like females in um
in
horror
horror
movies and
films, yeah.
stuff. So um and we were really into the witch at the time. That's why it's called His Blessed Book. You know, she signs the devil's book in that movie. So it was
Hmm.
kind of that. And then
Focus, Focus. I'm trying to think of other songs. The Conjuring.
yeah, The
Like
Conjuring
each
and
each song has its own movie that we were basing it off of,
yeah.
basically.
Cool. I
Yeah,
like
and then yeah, sorry. Well, you can go.
I said I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That kind of each song is based on its own kind of movie. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think from there, like we just decided uh concepts were of interest to us because like we knew we really
Yeah.
liked the way that one panned out. And I think
Mother
Mother of All Sin was
well, that was trying to like, I don't know, not force ourselves to always be a Halloween band, I guess, to like have a little bit of range. So our original idea for that was like um basically Thrice had this really cool record, and that's I still love. That's it's called like the Alchemy Index, and they had like it was like four EPs. One was fire, one was water, one was air,
Okay.
one was earth, and like the music matches that. It's like water's kind of like Radiohead electronic, and fire's like post-hardcore and like post-metal. So it's like I like those themes. So we had the idea of we should make a song for each deadly sin.
because I really like the movie Seven.
Yeah.
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 I love that movie. Like I
What's
think
in the box?
yes. He's a nutbag. There's so many good quotable moments from there, but like I think there's a lot of classical music in that movie too, and I think that's one of the main reasons my mom like let me watch it is because it was like,
Your mom should not
oh
have let you
no,
watch
I probably
it.
should not have watched it as early as I did, but
Yeah.
like it made such an impact on me, and I just love that movie so much. And so when we were talking about the Seven Sins, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool.
Yeah. So that started with like, oh, gluttony, you know, that should be slow, and you know, lust should be kind of sleazy and stuff like that. So we were kind of like throwing around how to do that. And then when we usually like play around with artwork in the beginning, just like coming up with like stuff in Photoshop to just kind of as a placeholder. And we were trying to think of like what represents seven sins and how do you get seven sins on there. And then we were thinking like, oh, Eve and the apple. And then it became like, oh, we can bookend this thing and have it be about Eve embracing the sins. So that was kind of one concept led to another, and
Nice.
now it's kind of a story.
Yeah, and I use Photoshop a lot for work. I'm a graphic designer, technically a interactive designer now. So like I'm really interested in the art creation process. So at first we had like just an apple and we were like, nope, that's too much like Twilight. Can't do that. Nope, that's not what we're doing. So we actually had our friend Meg do the artwork for Mother Olson, and she did an
Nice.
incredible job.
Yeah, it looks
Well,
great.
I don't know if you've peeked around on Bandcamp either, but like each song, if you click into it, has its own piece of artwork as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that. I was actually listening to that today, and I
Yeah.
noticed that. That's another thing I love. I love bands that kind of have, all different little types of elements. Like, well, we'll talk about this on the next record. You had a comic book with the next one, so that was
Yeah.
cool. And another thing I want to bring up, and this is kind of how I found your band, is I'm really into like Christmas and heavy metal.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just prowling around in Bandcamp, and I saw you guys had a song, Krampus Returns, and there was an ornament. So
Yeah.
I was like, hey, let me just pick up this ornament, and I heard the song, and then I started diving into the catalog and was just blown away. So that's kind of how I got into the band. So like, I really appreciate the Christmas ornaments and all
Yeah.
that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, we used to have like a black tree with all of our ornaments all
Yeah.
over it. And then we got cats and that just didn't last.
Yeah,
But
they like to dive
yeah.
bomb those things,
Yep.
Yes, they're crazy. We have 3 of them, just they always want to play all the time. So
Yeah.
it's just like that had to come down. But yeah, I think whose idea was it to do Krampus Returns? Because it was just like something we wanted
Oh,
to keep.
that was mine because I was like really pushing it. At that time I was like, let's do something else, and you're like, we just did a thing, Kevin. But yeah, that thing turned out really good. Someday I want to go back to that one. Just because um
Oh, Mother Wilson, you mean?
on Krampus
Oh,
Returns for
gotcha.
sure. Just because I don't know, I've learned a lot about audio engineering and everything since then, so I feel like we could I don't know, match the original vision for it like a little more. It still has like a nice like underground flavoring to it, but it'd be nice to crisp that up, say Krampus Returns again.
Yeah, returns.
Yes. The return of the return. Yeah.
Uh, so next thing I wanted to ask is going into your next album, which is Vampiric Visions, and that is just, I mean, like a total awesome concept album about vampires. You even had a comic book that came with it. I have it somewhere. I wasn't able to find it unfortunately, but I got the CD right.
Yeah, there we
So
go.
everyone, great CD. How did you come up with that concept? And
I was watching the Castlevania anime on Netflix. I was like season 2 of that, and I remember like the premise around that was kind of like Dracula was like sick of being alive, and basically Dracula was on like a suicide mission to like take the whole world with him, and I was like, that's evil. So then and I don't know, I've always been now you're into it, but it was like the reverse meme on Instagram where you usually have like uh the wife is like watching TV, and then like the husband slowly gets into what she's watching, and like I was really into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Brooke would always be like, this is garbage, I don't know how you're watching this, and then she'd like sit down and just keep watching more and more, and it's like, yeah, killing vampire killing vampires is always cool.
Yeah, so
So
then I had to rewatch it the whole thing from the beginning because I was like, oh, Spike, he's so handsome. I have
yeah.
to know like his character arc and all of that. But I mean, I think it fit just perfectly into the vein of like horror and
Yeah.
heavy metal. So like I was like, okay, I guess we could go for that. Like let's figure out uh like all the backstory and the character arcs and
Yeah.
um
And it was
so
because Mother of All Sin was like that like sounds different just because like on the technical side of things, like the first one, uh like I made that record in like just Bandcamp and like whatever built-in plugins that it had for that. And then Mother of All Sin, I was way out of my depth with like what gear I was getting, and I was like switching to Reaper, and I was like trying to go for like a specific sound I never quite got, and like looking because like basically every time we finish an album we kind of reflect on it, and it's like, all right, what did we like that came out of this, and then like what didn't we like. And I felt like the first album had like a spookier atmosphere. Like obviously it was like the Halloween album, but like kind of lost to us anyway. Like we lost the atmosphere of kind of the band with Mother of All Sin. I mean, people That's still like our most popular album though. So, but so Vampiric Visions was like, oh, we should get that spooky atmosphere back. So like the little interludes where we have our friend like doing the vampire voice and like having all like the King Diamond kind of sounds in the background and stuff. That was like our attempt to make it a little more like cinematic and gets some of the quality back that we chanced upon with that first record, I think. Because
One
that
thing I
first one,
noticed too that about the record is seems to be a little bit more different influences as far as instead of just doom metal, there seems to be more like some gothic rock in there and stuff. I think especially on what was it, a Queen of the Night?
yeah,
I think there's that riff. It's like you know that
yeah,
was
Yes.
I
Mhm.
really love that one.
yeah. That's that song is when I was writing that for me, like I think my demo was even called like Dark Throne but pop punk. Like that's like I don't know. I kind of like modeled that after like an Alkaline Trio song, like that kind of vibe where it's more like because they're like kind of like a gothic punk band. So
I think that's when you really started getting into Unto Others. Or
oh
you'd
yeah.
been in
Oh,
Oh,
I love
I,
them.
but
I think that was like right after that I
okay.
got into that. So the newer stuff that's coming is a little more like that. But yeah, basically at whatever you're hearing on any of these albums is basically as fast as I can play. So it's like it it's like weird where like I do like Doom. It's just Doom wasn't necessarily like that's not like the end goal because it's actually really funny is like I made Queen of the Night and I was like, well, I just my fingers want to go faster. I want to play faster and I don't even know if I can write a Doom song anymore. And our friend Paul from Theandric sent like he really likes Queen of the Night, so he sent us like a little cover he did of that song and he slowed it way down. And
Like
he's like,
doomified.
yeah, he very much doomified it, and I'm like, wow, I guess I could still be writing Doom, but like my brain doesn't want to do that. It wants to go, it wants to, it's, I still want to chug and be heavy, you know, but even Candlemass gets more like heavy metal than doom
Yeah.
metal, like the longer that they've been around, you know. So just wanna keep improving the craft, I guess. So and
And,
oh sorry. You
and
could
that's one thing, like I said, I love about the evolution of the band. You know, it started off with like kind of slower, and the fact that you were only playing guitar, you said for what a few months. That's amazing, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, there were many hours of just sitting there and being like, "Oh, that nope, we got to try it again.
yeah.
That wasn't on time." And I think you probably hated me for it because he's just like, "I can't get it." And I'm like, we just gotta do it."
Yeah. Yeah. Some of that is like kind of wild how we put it together where it's like if I was holding like one note and I couldn't really change between things quick enough, like I would just record one note and then like cut that thing out, put the next note next to it and stuff. So there's some really hacky things on that, how that got put together. But you know, back then we didn't really have any lead guitar on anything other than my friend's solo because I couldn't make sense of that. And what you're hearing on Vampiric Visions is that's basically a year's worth of guitar lessons. So like that's why there's actually like lead guitar here and there and stuff like that. So it's really me slowly figuring things out, you know, and crawling towards I don't know, something knowledgeable because I used to like write a riff or something and Brooke would be like, "Well, if you wanted to go with that other one, you gotta put it in the right key," you know. Now I don't really need help with any of that, but you know, there was a time. So
I'm very brutal when it comes to like that's not gonna work. Or like if you change it to do this, like I'm just a very brutal editor, I think, is
yeah.
what you said before.
Yeah,
That
like
could be good.
yeah, I think like somebody like Enya, um I forget the guy's name, but Enya has like a producer that she's always had, and that more than anything, that guy's just like a brutal editor. So like she comes up with things and then he kind of guts it a bit, and then we get like, you know, whatever's acceptable for the masses and Enya. So it's kind of like that. So our band usually works in such a way that I have the genesis of a song. She'll kind of like try to edit it if she doesn't like any parts. And then we usually work on the melody and the lyrics together, and then do a few rounds of that, and then
We
somehow
always
you get a song.
we always write the melodies first though, before we write lyrics,
Yeah.
because the other way around we've found is a little more challenging.
Yes.
So like for Vampiric Visions, we wrote out all the melodies, worked them all out, and then we started figuring out what is this song going to be about, what is the song, and then from there, like what do we want to say in the song, and kind of fit the
Yeah.
lyrics like puzzle pieces, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard like a lot of bands do that. Like there's like old like takes of Ozzy and on Sabbath songs, just singing like over like Paranoid, but it's some totally different bull
Right.
crap, But he's just trying to get a melody down, He's
Yeah.
not. They're not intended to be the original lyrics. The classic
Yeah.
case of that is "Yesterday" by the Beatles, which was
Oh,
originally
yeah.
scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. And it's
All
funny
right,
'cause,
well,
like
no,
sometimes
go ahead. Sorry.
Kevin will be like, oh well, this set of lyrics fit in this melody? And I'm like, yes, except for this one, which this word needs to be 2 syllables. And Kevin's like, why? And I'm like, I can't tell you why. It just needs to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next I wanted to get into some, different questions that don't really have anything to do with the band. Kind of fun.
Yeah.
The first one is, what was the first heavy metal album you ever had?
Mm. I don't even know if I can answer this one because I don't even. I think Kevin introduced me to heavy metal because like I was not a heavy metal fan before I met you.
You liked Queens of the Stone Age before I met you.
That's
I mean,
true.
that's not like the heaviest metal or anything, but
I
I
like
think
that.
that counts. I think that counts for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to like my past. I know like the first album I bought with my own money was probably like American Idiot, but that's like not
Mm.
it's like not metal. Like I listened to like a lot of like metalcore and stuff as a kid, and like a lot of pop punk and stuff. But I think like the first like honest to God like metal record I got into that isn't like metalcore or something close to that would be like Baroness in
Okay.
college.
Yeah, I love them.
Uh Blue record especially. Like that was great. Like I already liked I already liked, like Converge and like Between Bear and Me and stuff. That's still like a little hardcore, but like so like Baroness I always remember is like that's like actual heavy metal. And I was like, oh, heavy metal's cool. I
So
don't
does
need
Devin Townsend count then?
oh yeah,
Because
that's
Oh
that
yeah.
when we first started dating, it was like I was like, Kevin, whoa, he's like in a really heavy metal music. Like, I don't know if I can like keep up or whatever. Then he shows me which album was it?
Oh, it's probably
Cloud?
yeah, Kingdom. I was
Yeah, and I'm just like, what is this? This is so cool. I've never heard any music like this before. And it has all of those like so many layers that he does his like wall of sound thing. And I'm just like, this is so cool. And then I ever since then he just starts putting stuff on the radio or on the in the car, and I'll just be like, oh, okay, this is what we're listening
this
to.
is happening.
So I've really come to love like a lot, like Candlemass is awesome. Awesome. Like,
Yeah.
so
Well, I'm gonna age myself here, but my first one was probably Metallica Black Album.
oh,
That's-
nice.
Great one. There's
Yeah,
like
I
zero.
was I was probably like 10 when that came out, and all the videos were on, and I mean at that point it was in grocery stores. That album was everywhere.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
couldn't get away from it.
there's
Okay, so the
literally
next question I have, what is a must-watch Halloween movie for each year?
Like something we watch every year.
Every year, you got to watch it every year.
I'm gonna say yours is Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Because we're talking, and I'm talking like for a guy like me, when you say that like a Halloween movie, it must take place on Halloween in the movie.
Yes.
So like I could give you a lot of horror movies that are better than Trick or Treat, but when it comes to just like, nah, this is like I gotta watch it. It's the day. That's probably my movie.
What's mine?
I mean, yours is probably Hocus Pocus.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I know
That's
it's
not
really,
bad.
really childish,
Yeah.
but like it's such a class.
Yeah, it's
So
classic.
growing up, I was just talking to my mom about this because it's October 1st, and she sent a gif of the skeletons dancing from Disney's Halloween Tree, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Why did you like that show so much?" And I'm like, "I don't know, probably because it was creepy."
Yeah.
So like, if I were to say like long term, I think Disney's Halloween Treat was probably like my go-to, but Hocus Pocus is a close
Yeah.
one.
Now, when you say Trick or Treat, are you talking about the '86 one,
No, this would be
2007?
yeah,
So
I think
my
that's
favorite one is also a movie called Trick or Treat from
oh, okay.
1986. And it's a really shitty kind of bad movie. But it's got cameos by Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons.
Oh, okay.
What?
No,
Ozzy
I
Osbourne played a
honestly
preacher, like a televangelist.
okay.
And I guess when they had him filmed, they just said, "Hey, go crazy, say whatever you want." And then they just filmed him, and he's saying all this funny like "heavy metal's evil," and
Yeah.
so that part's kind of funny. So
I didn't
that's
know
what you
that
should check
existed.
out. 1986.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
to check it out. No,
Yeah,
we're gonna
for
have to check it
sure.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one I have is favorite non-Ozzy Black Sabbath album.
Non-Aussie. Mine's definitely Mob Rules. That's that's pretty easy.
I don't even.
Yeah, you're not like a you're not
You're
like
not
a
a Sabbath
yeah.
aficionado.
No,
So
she's wow.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll explain it. So like Brooke's really into music, but she's not like a metal nerd about it. Like she's not always aware of like all the players and like what albums what. It's more just like, oh, I kind of know I like this person's voice and I like the album cover that's this where like, you know, I'm I'm like in software development and like my brain is like I know directors, I know actors, I
Yeah.
know albums and when they came out and all that stuff, but
That's how I am. Yeah,
yeah.
I got to know
So
where they recorded it, what guitar they
yes.
used.
What guitar was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um.
yeah, I actually like I actually like Dio Sabbath a lot more than I like Ozzy Sabbath.
Hmm.
So
Dio is top notch though. Like how can
yeah,
you
Yeah.
be
yeah. He was good.
Now, if I'm gonna have to answer, my favorite non-Sabbath album lately has probably been Headless Cross, from
Okay.
'89 with
Yeah,
Tony Martin on
yeah,
vocals.
Tony. I haven't actually listened to much of the Tony years, so I'm at a loss there.
Check out Headless Cross.
Headless
There's
Cross.
a
Yeah.
what's that song? When Death Calls. It's got a guest guitar solo by Brian May.
Oh, okay.
Phenomenal song, man. That
Yeah.
one is, and vocals on that are awesome.
Yeah, I'll put that on here so I can get it. Yeah. Cool. Headless Cross.
One of the lyrics I love in that song is "Don't laugh in the face of death, or your tongue will blister."
Oh,
Like,
nice.
whoa, that's so like fucking cool.
That's heavy
Cool
metal.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
all right. So the next one I'm gonna have is probably your favorite Halloween candy.
Oh, geez.
Candy.
Um, I like Mary Jane's.
Oh, I love those.
Which is, people are like, those are gross, but I'm like, I don't know. They're
It's
so
considered an old person candy, you know.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those are my probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Besides Reese's peanut butter
Yeah.
cups or
Reese's, whatever the shape of Reese's is, the shaped Reese's are just way
oh,
better.
the white ghost ones. You like the
Yeah.
white
I
chocolate.
do like the white ghosts. They look less and less like ghosts every year, though. It's just like,
A
here's our
blob.
white Reese's blob, and I'm like, all right, I'll eat
It's just this blob.
it. Yeah, like I think they were some lady was trying to sue him because they're like, this isn't a pumpkin, it doesn't have a stem. I'm like,
Well,
calm
pretty
down.
soon they're just gonna put nothing in it. Look, it's like a really ghost. There's nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a ghost.
Like a real ghost.
Yeah.
Okay, next one I have is the best Halloween costume you ever had, either as an adult, as a child.
Hmm.
I can age myself with this one. for sure. But being Darth Maul after episode
Nice.
1 came out, running around with that double-bladed lightsaber,
Oh, that's awesome.
that's living right there.
Oh my god.
I was probably like, man, when did that come out? I would have been like 5th grade or something. I don't know.
I don't even know. I liked I don't even know the character's name from Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh yeah, that was a cool
That
costume.
was cool.
I don't even know if she had it. I don't remember her name either. Because we did one where I had like Tom Cruise's mask and like the
Oh,
cape
okay.
from that, and she was like the lady with the headdress. So she just had like a black onesie and then like the
Huge feathers.
yeah,
It was
I
high
forget.
heels. It was really cool.
Yeah, I forget the name of that, but that was a cool costume.
I can't like mine would probably have been. I didn't really have much. I mean, when I was a kid, we kind of just threw on whatever we had around or
Sure.
little mask. But I remember I went as Dracula one year. My mom really made a really cool costume. So
Dracula's
awesome.
always cool, man.
exactly, it's a classic.
Always
You
the
know,
style. We have to say
Bela
that at
Bela
Vampire
Lugosi.
Band.
Exactly.
Yeah, have to say that.
So the next thing I kind of want to end with is you guys got any new stuff coming out or anything down the line? Or do you ever plan on playing live or?
Playing live is still a big no from us. Like, we still don't have like a full band. So like it's basically just us on our computer in the basement. And then I do have my drummer friend Austin who plays in Casket Robbery and Illusion of Fate. He cleans up and like teaches me uh basically like how to make better beats and like how to like clean up my programming so it actually seems like somebody's actually playing it. So um which he records drums for real, but I don't know if I'm to the point where I could actually like mix any of that stuff and have it sound better than the samples we have, unfortunately. But so yeah, like live is just not super interesting. Like the whole logistics of like we'd have to get people together and like find somewhere to practice. And then it's like I know it's one of those things where like everybody and their brother, if they know like about us, they're like, "Oh, when are you gonna play?" And it's like I already know what's gonna happen where it's like, "Oh, we're gonna play this day," and they're like, "Ah, can't make it that day."
Yeah.
So it's like I that's a lot of hassle. But we have Vampiric Visions Volume 2 and 3, and they are fully they're fully demoed depending on the song and the album. Some of it's like more done than otherwise it's just like kind of getting it up to the point we want it to be. Like it's been a couple years now. We usually release stuff faster, but there's a lot of things on Volume 2 I wrote that I couldn't play for a long time. It was like too fast because I'll write it in Guitar Pro or
Or
write it in MIDI.
or I'll write it for you. There's
Yeah,
a couple parts that I wrote and I'm like, "Can you do this?" And he's like,
not
"No,
yet.
but
Not yet.
it'll be a good challenge." So like the opening riff of volume 2 is like really fast for him. So he's like, "I'm gonna have to spend many hours practicing this." So
Yes.
um
I got it
you got it.
eventually.
You
Yeah.
got it.
So um yeah, it's basically like we're sitting on like I think like not counting like my friend talking vampirically over things, like we got like 17 songs. So
Nice.
there will be a pile. I mean, if it all goes well, maybe we'll release both albums next year or something. Space them out a bit so people can digest it, but we want to get it out there. We got our comic done for volume 2 already. We have
Incredible.
Sweet.
those are printed in a box over there. We
Mhm.
just had a meeting with our comic book friends today, so volume 3 comic is underway. So the trilogy will exist in due time.
Nice.
In due time. So yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. I'm excited as well. Now, where can people find your stuff at? Is it just on Bandcamp or do you have anywhere else that they can get it at? Your music?
Like they should be able to find us
Bandcamp, Spotify,
Spotify.
YouTube,
Yeah,
Apple Music, pretty much
everywhere.
anywhere you're streaming. I think DistroKid takes care of it
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yep. So yeah, everywhere. Everywhere.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
Well, is there anything else you want to say about the band or before we wrap it up?
We might be doing some covers.
Oh yeah,
Maybe,
some
maybe.
covers, you know, and we're
Speaking of that,
yeah, tell
I
us
love
what
the
we
last
should
two
play.
covers you did.
Thanks. Yeah, if you want to request covers, people, let us know.
Yeah.
We like
Oh,
a weird challenge.
oh,
We like a weird challenge. So no promises, but you know,
Yeah.
we have a little list of songs that our friends tell us we should play, and it's like, oh, you know, it's that stuff's good palate cleanser to work on in between
Mhm.
serious stuff. So yeah.
awesome. Well, like I said, thanks you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. This has been Aaron Ossont on Ossont Battery with Lady Luna and the Devil. Go check out their stuff. You can get on Bandcamp, Spotify, wherever you can find good music. If you can't find them on the platform, then it's not a good platform. So, so everyone have a good time. Stay metal. This is Aaron Ossont, Ossont Battery.
Yep. Thanks.
Let's see.
For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.